But the most important point for people to understand is that Bitcoin volatility is a feature. It's not a bug. The volatility creates tens of billions of dollars of credit and liquidity at all times, everywhere, to everyone in the world in the short term. But over the long term, that volatility is driving superior asset performance and durability. So it's volatile because it's functional. The other markets are all closed and they're crippled by the physics and the politics of the asset.
Isn't it a problem when a store of value, if someone wants to use Bitcoin as a store of value, can lose 10 or 20% over a couple of trading sessions?
The reason it moves is because it's functional. It's digital capital, and it's superior to physical capital or financial capital. Bitcoin's a capital investment you can hold for decades that a corporation, competitor, counterparty, or a country can't take away from you. So it'll create generational wealth for your family, your corporation, or your country. You can liquidate it at any amount, anytime, anywhere in the world, or you can hold it for any amount of time without active management or business acumen. So yeah, it's volatile, but it's so superior to every other option that you have for long-term capital management that I actually think the world is just waking up to discover this virtue.
So once the world wakes up and understands what Michael Saylor just explained, then that's when you're going to see that volatility go massively to the upside, and we could be on the brink of that. We're seeing a lot of rumors spreading around with President-elect Trump starting a Bitcoin reserve for the US. There's a lot going on, a lot of bullish catalysts. We're still in a quantitative easing cycle, so business cycle and everything is just pointing to the upside. A lot of bullishness. You want to pay attention to what's going on here. If you're not on this train, it might leave the station on you. And weighing in on this, Ryan Quant, shout out to him. MicroStrategy is what he's talking about here, discussing volume. You're looking at the pre-market session today, and you see MicroStrategy volume has about 175,000 shares, and then their liquidity is about $58.3 million. And then look at Apple's volume, 25,000 shares and $5.6 million in liquidity. So look at this major discrepancy. MicroStrategy has a lot more volume and liquidity in comparison to a $1 trillion company like Apple. This should be foreshadowing where MicroStrategy is going to be going in the future. MicroStrategy will be another $1 trillion company, if not the most valuable company in the world. And what he's saying is MicroStrategy 7x the volume and 10x the liquidity. So why does this matter? It's positively correlated to the IV. A volume increase expands MicroStrategy's ability to sell shares ATM. So basically what's going on, ATM is when they're selling the shares that they own and doing the buybacks with Bitcoin. Basically, volume and the IV are rising simultaneously while these shares are being sold, and this is giving them that massive feedback loop because of these high metrics in comparison to a massive company like Apple. Look at this. This is crazy. MicroStrategy is not even a $100 billion company yet. And look at the volume. The volume is smashing a well-known company and respected company like Apple. So what's going to happen next for MicroStrategy? If you like this type of content, make sure you go ahead and smash the like button. Also, give us a follow on Twitter. So let's get straight into it.
Hey guys, sorry for the quick interruption, but if you're interested in trading MicroStrategy options, any other stock out there, Bitcoin, Solana, or any other crypto out there, you can now do that on MooMoo. And if you sign up with our affiliate link, which we pin in the comment section, also in the description below, when you sign up and deposit any amount, you're going to receive up to 20 free stocks, and each one of these stocks could be valued at up to $2,000. So make sure to sign up with MooMoo. Go get that free money. Now let's go ahead and get back to the video.
And we highly suggest you become part of the Bitcoin Bros Club on our Patreon, patreon.com/Bitcoin Bros. We're giving call alerts. We're giving you alpha every single day. We're giving you content we're not putting on this channel for free. You got to be a part of the Bitcoin Bros Club. Our community is one of the strongest communities in crypto. Check us out now, patreon.com/Bitcoin Bros. If you guys like trading options and things, this long-term Bitcoin price, we see that this is a cup and handle pattern that's forming, and it's actually, this isn't the technical target, but it's actually breaking out of this. And we'll show you the target here. MicroStrategy at pre-markets coming in at 337. Could we go lower? We'll take a look at all that. Look at MicroStrategy. MicroStrategy looks like it's in a healthy uptrend. Could we go lower than where we are right now? We have to pay attention to this 20 moving averages on the 4-hour. The 20 moving average right now is sitting around 310 to 315. Could we go down to that? That's definitely a possibility. Not guaranteed. It all depends on how fast that ATM is being purchased. And when that gets announced, that could cause, another spike up in the price. So just be patient. Could we fall below this a little bit and come back down to the 300 range? That's definitely a possibility, but this is a bull market, guys, so dips are meant for buying. Remember that. Dips are meant for buying. Because if you look back, we fell below the 20 moving average right here, and briefly right here, and also before we crossed all of these, we fell below it right here. So could we fall below this? Yes, we could come back down to the 300 range. This RSI could reset a bit, and you see the RSI has just put in a high, a higher high, and a higher high. So if this resets, we just could come back up. Now this is the time you want to pay attention to, because when we do see a divergence on the 4-hour, we want to be very, very cautious, very, very wary, because this is a bearish divergence. When the price goes up, so is the RSI, but the RSI then puts in a lower high compared to the previous peak, and this puts in a higher high. That's something that you want to be cautious of. We're not seeing that as of yet. Bitcoin is looking pretty good at 91,000, but we want to see what happens here. We mentioned that bearish divergence. This could be some type of divergence if this doesn't have a continuation to the upside and get back above the 88 level. But, it could be a slight divergence if this comes back up and does something like this before cooling off. Once again, this puts in a lower high, price puts in a higher high. You get the picture. So we want to see what happens here on the weekly, but if we look on the lower time frame, we could see a little bit of cool off in the short term. Why do we say this? If we zoom into this price action, make it all make sense, we see exactly what we're talking about. So on the 4-hour, we see the price put in a higher high, and look what happened with the RSI. The RSI put in a lower high. So this is where we're talking about. We could get either some sideways chop consolidation while the RSI has opportunity to reset, or the price action could actually start to come down to lower levels. Where those lower levels be, could we come all the way back down to 78,000? There's some gaps down in these areas here. That's a possibility, but once again, don't freak out. This could be a massive retest of this macro resistance that acted as resistance for quite some time. If that happens, we're not saying we're going that low. It's not guaranteed, but once again, nothing's guaranteed in these markets. Right now is an opportunity. You sort of want to be cautious here, because this is an area where it's relatively no trade zone, because this could look like, once again, some type of continuation pattern. Right now, this channel looks like it could be breaking to the downside. We could come down to 85,000. If you look at where our moving averages are, we see that the 20 moving average, which act as a pogo stick before, at 76,000 when we bounced off it. Right now, that's at 88,000. So that's on the 4-hour. Now the 20 and the 50 are somewhat spread apart, not too bad. They could, come back to sort of let these give a chance to catch up. So we could see a little bit of cool off. Right now, it's sort of a just sit in your hands and do nothing moment, because it could have a reset. Resets are for buying. Definitely a good opportunity there. If we look on the daily, we're really overextended. We're overextended from the 20. The 20 is all the way back down to 75,000. And once again, this daily acts as a pogo stick once again. So if we just trade sideways for some time and give this 20 moving average time to catch up, then we could see potentially a pullback, maybe meet at 85,000 before then having that bounce continuation. So keep all this in mind. Right now is a don't do nothing zone, because if the Bitcoin price continues, you're already in your positions. If not, then have some dry capital. If you want to trim off a little bit of your positions, but that's not a bad position to be in as well, because then you got a little bit more dry capital, maybe 10 to 20%. And if you see it blast off of the upside, get back in, and that's how you play that. So this chart is from Rect Capital. Shout out to him on the weekly. And you see you're in this consolidation pattern here. Once we break out of it, it's off to the races. There's not too many pullbacks in a bull market, but any dip is meant to buy. Well, look what happened. We just entered into that green zone. It's time to be off to the races. And the question is, this last time, about almost a year, 385 days, will this last similarly? Because it seems like this price has been moving extremely fast. How fast will we continue to go to the upside, and how high will we go? That's the major question. Well, once again, we showed you this at the beginning of the video, and the technical target for this cup and handle pattern, you got to go to the weekly, and this is the handle here. So the way these cup and handle patterns play out, you have to just pull from the neckline, which is where the lid is at, down to the bottom, and this is going to be a conservative estimate. So this is where the technical target is for Bitcoin, and we've showed you this before, but it's always good to reiterate and look again. And this takes you all the way up to over $300,000 Bitcoin, $330,000. There's a lot more gas in the tank. This bull market's just getting started. Are you positioned? Are you ready? And with that, I'm Sean with the Bitcoin Bros. You guys like this content, go ahead and smash the like button. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, go ahead and show us some love. We appreciate each and every one of you. With that, I'm out.